everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. I did a video, at least partially, on this subject in 2014, but I figured it was time to run this by again, and I'm going to add something to it. I don't often do commentaries. This is going to be a commentary, but it's something that I think everybody needs to hear again. Since I have a lot of new subscribers since then. What I'm going to say is that I quite frequently have people calling me on the phone that have seen the videos and tell me that oh, I can't do that kind of work. I'm not an artist. I'm not this. I'm not that. And what I usually wind up saying, if not always wind up saying, is it doesn't matter. We're all good at something on a train layout or whatever we do, and we have things that we like the least. And on my particular case, I know nothing about signaling, and I'd love to have signals, but it's just something I haven't dove into yet. And then the second thing is that a lot of people say, you know, I don't have the money to do something, so I'm only building something small or whatever. And my response usually to that is, it doesn't matter how much money you spend on it, it doesn't matter how big it is, it doesn't matter the quality of it, the scenery. If you can do scenery work, fine. If you can't, it doesn't matter. If you can do track work or not, it really doesn't matter to a point. I mean, you have to get something down you can run a train on. But if there's electrical or anything that you can't do, or fascia or whatever, we all understand that, and my response is always, I understand that, and it's not about how much money you spend, it's not about what you can and can't do, what the layout looks like. It doesn't matter what it is. It's have fun at it. That's what it's all about. Have fun at it. We all go through that. I mean, we all do something for a different reason, and usually we do that thing, whether it's a hobby or whatever, collecting or whatever it is, we do it because we enjoy it. If you collected paintings, you might not have a Van Gogh, but you might have some local artist, and it makes you happy. And that's the thing. You got to be happy at this. If you're not happy at it, you need to move on to some other type of collecting or some other type of hobby or whatever. And to that end, what I'll say is what I said in 2014, and that is that I subscribe to a lot of young kids, a lot of young guys, a lot of old guys, a lot of older guys that can't do stuff, a lot of younger guys that can't do stuff, a lot of middle-aged guys that can't do stuff, and I can't do stuff. But the beauty is we all have something in common, and we all hopefully enjoy doing it. And that's the whole key factor here, because I have kids that, and I said it in 2014, as I said, I have kids that I subscribe to that have Thomas Tank. I have kids that I subscribe to that have wooden trains. I have all kinds of kids and people and with all different levels, all different skill levels that I subscribe to. And I try and be encouraging to all of them. I don't like being a rivet counter and telling somebody something's wrong on their layout. Because it's not wrong. It's right to them. It's just like abstract painting or whatever. It's right to the person who did it. It's right to the person who likes it. It's not right to the person who doesn't like it or doesn't appreciate it. But the point is the people who do it and collect it, have fun at it. So my message here, without keeping going on and on, is no matter what you have to spend on the hobby, no matter what your skill levels are, just have fun. That's what it's all about. And if you're on YouTube looking at this video right now, and you're on YouTube doing the YouTube thing, be on YouTube because it's fun. If people start dragging you down, take the comments off. I mean, you know, we don't need that stuff. I do it. I don't have to do it very often, but you know, you always have a percentage of people who don't like what you're doing, and that's okay. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you don't like it, don't do it. It's like hitting your thumb with a hammer. If you don't like it, don't do it. So that's all I wanted to talk to you about today as far as that goes. But I do want to talk to you about one other thing about my particular layout that maybe some of you don't know, and I've had a few comments in this direction. So let me pause for a moment and I'll get right back. Okay, what I wanted to say was, and it just occurred to me the other day when I did update 21 out here on the layout. I think there's a lot of people out there that are getting into the hobby. They know that it's modeling, they know what they need to do, they know what they want to do, they know what they'd like to do, and all that. But I think at times people get too hung up on what you visualize in your head versus how it turns out on the board. I guess it's a result versus vision issue. And a lot of people have a vision of something they want to create, and they're very good at creating it, and they make it exact. And the hill is 40 feet high behind my old house in, I don't know, wherever, Bolivia, whatever. So I'm going to make it 40 feet high, and I'm going to make the house, you know, the house was a 3-bedroom house and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to scratch build a house, and I'm going to build it like, and they're very precise. And I think architectural builders are that way. They're very precise. They know what they need to do. They know what they need to build. And it's not, in their cases, it's not necessarily what they like to do. It's what they have to do for money. But the thing is, they build things precise. And there are people out there that do things precisely. I am not that builder. I had a vision for what I wanted for the room, and you guys have seen it. You know, I have a space for my models kits over here. I've got some books out now. I've got a shelf here with some stuff on it. You've seen it all, okay? But I've incorporated the things that I want when I envisioned tearing out the old ACT and putting the new one in. And what I wanted was a lot more scenery for the trains to pass through without having obstructions and buildings and too much urban blight, I guess you might say. So I kind of envisioned that I wanted it L-shaped. I knew that. I envisioned that I wanted inclines on it. So I started working on a track plan on AnyRail, and someday I'll do a video on the AnyRail program. But if you're not familiar with it, it's anyrail.com, and you can look it up on the computer. It's a real good, easy to learn, and if it ain't easy to learn, this boy wouldn't be doing it. But real easy to learn, very intuitive, and I recommend if you want to build a layout and you want to do something on a computer first, do that. But anyways, I did a design. I kind of knew what I wanted to incorporate and stuff, and I've had to make a couple of changes. But what I really was leaning towards in what I'm trying to tell you now is I've learned a few things from my mistakes. One is that these places that are way in the back, like over here to my left, that I've been working on, is a pain in the ass to reach because it's so far back there. But my theory is to get it done first, work my way towards the front, and then I don't have to break my back anymore. Hopefully before I'm 147 years old. The lake down there, I made it so I can pull it out. That was something I learned too. If there's something you can't reach, try and make it removable so you can work on it and put it back in there. These are things we learned by doing multiple layouts or by watching someone's video like this one. But what I'm really leaning to, and you guys know how I am, I just keep going forever, what seems like ever. I'm sure it seems like forever to you. But is that I have this vision in my head, but when it comes to the actual scenery, I know I may want mountains down here, and I know I may want some desert over there, and I know I may want some greenery on the other portion. But how to get from there to there to there is very up in the air when I build a layout. And as you see me putting the plaster on and doing stuff, I put the tunnel down there at the other end just as a view block. And I've explained view blocks before. It's just something to block other things that you don't want people to see on the layout. And it just came to me to put a tunnel down there with a big rock formation. So I did, and it works well. And the 3-over bridge that you see down there where the river's going to go under. But these things, some of them were necessity by plan, like the 3-level bridge, and some of them are just free form when I get there. And the tunnel down there at that end was one of those free-form things. Yesterday when I was working on the corner back here, I got all done putting the plaster cloth and everything on, and I decided, well, you know what? I don't like looking at that curved track around there, and it looks so boring, the slope of the hillside. So I built up the edge there a little bit, a couple of inches, and I think you'll see it in the video. Maybe I could swing over there real fast. I don't know if I'm too high. Yeah, right there, just beyond the spray bottle there. You can see that I built it up, and then there's the track, and then there's the scenery behind. Just so that you can't see the train coming from over here around that curve. Anyway, back to me. And I don't want to dwell on this forever, but when I start doing scenery work, it just comes to me as it is. And I've told people before, but I don't know whether I've ever thrown this into a video or not. I think I have, but it was probably skipped over real fast in one of the videos. When I put my fascia up, I know approximately how high the track's going to be. But when I do this fascia, like this back here, I don't cut the fascia to meet what I've built here. I cut the fascia first with an idea of how I want it, the elevation of the fascia to be. Then I bring the scenery up to it. And I know guys that do scenery first and then mark their scenery on the back of the mason. They put the piece up, mark it on the back of the masonite, take it down and do it. And I have done it that way. But I prefer this way, just cutting the fascia and let the fascia dictate how that fascia is going to match up to the existing scenery. And that's more or less what I'm trying to say here, is that's how I work around the whole layout. I don't get hung up on making Grandpa Pfeiffer's cornfield over there somewhere or anything. It's all just kind of freeform. And when I get done doing a section like this, or doing like the other end, or doing the lake, or doing the loop back over here, I myself am surprised how it turns out, and sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. If I don't like it, I modify it, such as up above I was just telling you about. So I guess the way I model, or what I'm trying to tell you is the way I model is, a lot of people think that I have all this just crammed into my head, and that it comes out just the way I'm imagining it. And while the track work is pretty much that, and the elevations are pretty much that, the scenery is not. I don't have an expectation for scenery other than the locale I want it to be. And so it's very easy for me to work in that mode, so that's the one I choose. Certainly everyone can choose whatever mode they want to work in. And I don't think anybody should criticize anybody for working in any mode like that. But anyway, I just wanted to explain to you, because a lot of people think I have this all in my head, and when I get done, there's going to be 40 trees there, and there's going to be 13 bushes down there, and there's going to be this and that, and that's how I have it pictured in my head, and that's not it at all. I have absolutely no idea what this layout's going to look like when I get done with the scenery. I will be surprised just as you will be surprised. But I hope that helps put a little ease into some people's mind about how hung up you need to be on what you're modeling. I think it's more fun to go freeform and model scenery as you go, instead of trying to exactly model Cajon Pass or, you know, Durango Silverton or whatever. And there's been a lot of guys that have done good at that. But I'd rather see a freeform form of that. I wouldn't rather see it. I would rather work on a freeform form of that than have to concentrate on making Lizard Head in Durango Silverton, or making the terrain exactly right for Tehachapi, or whatever the situation is. That's too stressful for me. I'd rather just do freeform stuff. So that's what I do. Anyway, without sounding like a broken record and listening to my coyotes yelling in the background over here, I just wanted to share all that with you, and I just wanted to, I guess, impose that the whole object here is to do what you like what you do, and be happy doing it. And in the case of my videos, I have guys that tell me all the time they love the videos, they love my demeanor. I have guys tell me they don't like it, don't like my demeanor, and that I'm a a-hole, and whatever. That's okay. I don't care. I don't care what a lot of people think. However, if you post that in the comments, I'm going to take it out of there. So I love all you guys, love all the comments, love everybody that stuck with me from day one. way back, as far as I can go back, on the very first ACT, even when the grandkids weren't born. But nevertheless, I appreciate all you guys and wanted you guys to know that I enjoy doing YouTube, and that's, I guess, how these videos turn out to the ones who enjoy them so enjoyable. So for now, that's all I wanted to say, which is probably way more than you wanted to hear. And as usual, gang, what do I say? Thanks for watching.